I'm going to let you watch this ridiculous video, and then I'm going to show you why all of this is impossible.
This is the biggest, most ambitious, most expensive video I've ever made, and it's also going to be terrifying. We are strapping these giant metal weights to the belly of that helicopter, flying it up several kilometers in the sky, and then dropping these weights on East Sandcastle City. I mean, we need a lot. And this is all for a very good reason. So let's do it. Come on. In the late 1950s, the United States had a problem. The Soviet Union launched the first artificial satellite, Sputnik, into orbit around the Earth on the 4th of October, 1957. But less well known is that just over a month earlier, they successfully tested the first intercontinental ballistic missile, or ICBM. It could deliver a nuclear warhead from the Soviet Union to cities on the US East Coast in around 30 minutes. Facing this threat, a researcher at Boeing named Jerry Pournelle came up with an idea for a space weapon. It could hit any location on Earth in half that time, just 15 minutes. It could destroy targets buried 30 meters underground, like the silos where the Soviet nukes were kept, and theoretically, it could intercept ICBMs mid-flight. His concept was to put telephone pole-sized pieces of tungsten in space, in orbit.
Rods of God.
So that these pieces of tungsten could drop on a target basically at any time. The idea was within a 15-minute window, you would be able to release one of these tungsten rods and have it re-enter the atmosphere and strike a target in minutes. It would come in so fast. You know, in orbit, things go about 8 kilometers per second. And as it enters the atmosphere, it's going to slow down to the atmospheric drag. But still, on impact, it's still going to be going like 10 times the speed of sound, Mach 10, or about 3 kilometers per second.
That's not the way gravity works, by the way.
This is MOAB, which stands for Massive Ordnance Air Blast.
MOAB. Mother of all bombs.
Non-nuclear
That's
explosives.
a MAGA QAnon term, isn't it?
11 tons of TNT. Now, just one of these tungsten rods coming in would have the same energy as the largest conventional explosive ever detonated. They are not bombs. They contain no explosives. But the amount of energy that they're carrying in their kinetic energy, because they are so heavy and they're going so fast, it is as big as any conventional bomb ever detonated. Pournelle called his weapon Project Thor, after the Norse god who threw lightning bolts from the heavens. In the 1980s, the kinetic missile interceptor idea was seriously considered by the Reagan administration. It was codenamed Brilliant Pebbles, but the project was abandoned.
Because
In
it doesn't work.
2003, it was resurrected by the Air Force Transformation Plan, which referred to this weapon as hypervelocity rod bundles. But colloquially, the weapon is known as rods from God.
Yeah, rod from God.
The kinetic energy of an object is directly proportional to its mass and its velocity squared. So increasing the object's mass 10 times increases its kinetic energy 10 times. But if you increase the velocity by a factor of 10, the kinetic energy grows by a factor of 100. This is why even very light objects can carry lots of kinetic energy. This is what a 15-gram piece of plastic does to a block of aluminum when traveling at 6 kilometers per second. And this is a real problem for satellites. Because of the massive speeds on orbit, micrometeorites, small bolts, or even flecks of paint are serious risks for the astronauts living on
How
the
about bubbles
space station.
in the swimming pool?
This chip in the window of the ISS was caused by a tiny speck of dust and a small piece of space junk in the robotic arm.
Oh, God.
Imagine something that weighs 10 tons traveling that fast. Kinetic energy weapons appear in fiction, including dozens of movies, video games, and books. But how realistic are they? I mean, could this weapon ever become a reality? Well, that's why we're here in the middle of the desert. We want to see how damaging a rod from God could be. And we really pulled out all the stops, even hiring a team of professional sandcastle builders to construct a city onto which we'll drop the
A
rods.
sandcastle. Not quite a city.
I have all the respect in the world. These sandcastle builders.
You're supposed
You
to
are
believe.
7-time U.S. Open Sandcastle champions.
So cool.
Yeah. Okay. Sandcastles
Were the test of the
are not
highest
high-rise
rate
buildings.
drop with very little damage. I'm really convinced of that.
The U.S. Capitol is great.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Yeah.
It's one of our
I love
favorites.
all the buildings there. Who did the pickle? The gherkin.
Yeah, the gherkin right here.
Very nice. This is beautiful. I mean, I feel bad for trying to hit it.
Look at the size of that.
Concerned about aiming.
That's not the size of a city.
So before we get to that drop, we're gonna try to hit this swimming pool with a 100 kilogram or 220 pound mass. Probably go up about 500 meters. Try to drop a weight right into this pool. I don't think it's gonna work. I don't think we're gonna hit it. In fact, my main concern for the whole day is that we're just not gonna be able to hit anything. And then what was the point of coming out here in the first place? These are gonna be the questions that I ask myself. So the way we're targeting
The wrong
is with
questions.
GPS. We're gonna take a GPS mark from like the center of the pool. Oh boy. We've also got GPS in a helicopter. We use that to try to line up square over the middle of the pool. So if we're able to hit this pool in 500 meters, then I think we've got a shot.
Where's your GPS?
My GPS is my phone, and I have the coordinates written on my arm. We're ready to go. We're professionals.
First drop. And it's feeling shaky, I gotta tell you.
Got another 700 feet to be at 1500.
Okay.
I just don't know like why they're circling up that high. Is that 500 meters? That seems really high. 1,500 feet? I mean, that seems higher than 1,500 feet. That is freaking crazy. Okay.
Here we go. This is the one.
This is the one.
It's swinging
They're,
all
like,
over the
crazy
place.
up there.
Yeah, does it have fins on it?
Jesus. No fins.
Why didn't we have this conversation a week ago?
Look at that.
We're good left to right. That's good. We just need to go forward.
Oh, jeez. That does not look like they're in position, right? Are you kidding me?
Never will.
Oh my! What is that gonna hit? Oh, it is going sideways. What did it hit?
Wait, past the sandcastle.
Oh, jeez. That was way more off than I thought.
I was right on. Was you showing the same thing back there?
Yeah, we were right on it.
Well, that's kind of weird. That's just going to show you what's going to happen at altitude. We both said we were right on it, and we weren't.
It didn't look like you guys were moving, but
Yeah, he's telling me our horizontal velocity was 0.
and you were in the right spot.
We were exactly in the right spot.
Oh wow! Oh wow! Look at that!
Yeah, it did
Oh,
nothing.
wow.
Totally buried. Falling from 500 meters, the rod accelerated for 10 seconds. And even accounting for air resistance, it hit the ground going about 350 kilometers per hour. At that speed, with a mass of 100 kilograms, it was carrying nearly 500,000 joules of kinetic energy. Our plan for the day is to drop something twice as heavy from 6 times higher. Then, its energy on impact will be greater than the explosion of a kilogram of TNT. Kinetic impacts are explosive. If you look at the craters on the moon, and you look really closely, you're going to see
Come on.
that they're basically all circles. I think no one stops to ask, why are they circular? If you imagine when the moon gets hit by asteroids,
It doesn't get hit by asteroids.
so
It's a
shouldn't
flat
these sort of
disc
oblong
made out of
shapes
plasma,
where
and
the
these
asteroid
fucking
comes in?
clowns know
Well,
that.
the truth is, the asteroids come in with such incredible speed that it's not like they're pushing dirt out of the way and that's what creates the crater. No, they're coming in so fast that when they collide, their kinetic energy is explosive. It heats up the ground, turns things into liquid and gas. They all get super hot and they spray outwards in a giant explosion. And this explosion is symmetric. It doesn't matter which angle or how shallow the asteroid was coming in. It's going to blow out everything radioactive because it is explosive.
Nice
Kinetic
try.
energy is explosive. And I think
You're
that
not a
is
scientist,
a
you're
really
a
surprising thing. It was the
fucking
exact same thing with dropping these rods. Going
agent.
Mach 10, when they hit a target, they're going to create an explosion as though they are the largest conventional weapon ever launched. And because it's going so fast, it can penetrate around 30 meters of soil, enough to bust bunkers or silos. And the explosion is therefore more localized, so it can be used for precise surgical strikes. Plus, unlike a nuclear weapon, there's no radioactive fallout to worry about.
Yeah, there is, because you just blew one up on the ground,
Do these
you
ideas
fucking
contravene
dumbass.
any current laws or treaties?
No, the only international agreement there is about putting weapons in space is about nuclear weapons. The only real prohibition is about putting nuclear weapons in space.
That's why they put so many in space in the
I thought
1950s, right?
Now I'm like super.
Operation Dominic, Operation Fishbowl.
Much lower altitude we're going to do visually.
Yeah.
So we're
Right.
going to do it.
Y'all need a history
Let's
lesson.
do a cube drop. Cube drop.
Fucking idiots.
It was interesting because I was like, we shouldn't do a cube drop. We're here talking about rods of God, they're cylinders, right? Now I'm so thankful we have the cubes because the cylinders, as Adam Savage told me.
Cylinders tend to fall on their sides if given enough chance.
Really? Who would have thought? I would have thought, like, you know, a pencil type thing, it would tend to aim straight down.
Yep. Because you don't know science very well.
That still looks high. Is that 100 meters? Is that 30-second call? It doesn't look like they're over the pool. It's totally blowing around in the wind. It's totally swinging.
GPS is spot on, and I see it right below.
Still feels high.
We're on it! We're on it!
And you missed.
All right. That wasn't far off.
We're off by 60 feet.
Oh, wow. Geez, did you look like we were right about it? Look like it, yeah. Wow. The nice shows us were right on it as well.
You see any big explosion there?
100 meters? I'll take it. Okay, we're setting up to drop
They're
this
just-
mass.
they're
200
destroying their
kilograms,
own-
440 pounds. What do you think? Are we gonna hit it this time? I hope so.
Demonstration. Does that look like a nuclear bomb when it hits the sand?
This is the moment of truth. We've had 2 misses so far. So we're going 50 meters or 150 feet above the pool, which for me, it's pretty disappointing. But at this point, I just want to hit something.
I bet.
Oh boy. The weight is swinging around on there. It's getting blown around by the wind. I mean, we need luck. There goes, there goes, there goes. I'm tracking.
Splash! like a splash of an ice cube in a cup of tea.
It's like right on the edge. Right on the edge.
That looked like a nuclear explosion.
This
Like
morning I
they're.
was so worried that we weren't gonna hit anything. And like,
Come on,
I think the
folks.
footage is so shaky because I was so excited. But like seeing that from above was amazing.
Okay, so where's the big explosion? Like a nuclear weapon.
Ripped right through the pole. Unbelievable.
Oh my God! It went through the.
Whereas the next target, the sandcastle.
It didn't even go in the ground.
On a doubling. This will be amazing. If we can actually hit the sandcastle from 100 meters, that'll be something.
And it'll show you just how ridiculous this all is.
Incarnations of rods from God. The rods are made out of tungsten. And there are two reasons for this. The first is that tungsten is really, really dense. A cubic meter of tungsten weighs 19 tons. That's over twice the density of steel, which is what we're using here, just because it's a lot cheaper. But that means for a given amount of mass, tungsten rods could be less than half the volume of steel, and therefore encounter less resistance as they pass through the atmosphere. And importantly for re-entry, tungsten also has an incredibly high melting point, the highest of any metal, at almost 3,500 degrees Celsius. This is important because as the rod decelerates through the atmosphere, a lot of heat builds up all around it. And tungsten's high melting point means the rods require much less shielding to prevent them from melting. The shape is also important. The goal is to hit the target with as much speed as possible, so a sleek, aerodynamic shape is best. And rods are a great shape for that. Aerodynamics is why arrows and bullets and ballistic missiles all look the way they do. It's to minimize drag. Honestly, one of the big mistakes we made was not welding fins onto our rods. We're going up to about 100 meters, 300 feet before we drop. We're going to hit the Sandcastle City. That's the goal. There it goes, there it goes, there it goes. It's going. Did it hit in front? And just in front?
And did nothing to the Sandcastle City.
So close to taking out the capital.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah. That close, but it didn't move a particle of sand. Not a single particle of sand. You dumb fucking
20 seconds.
schmucks.
That wind is brutal. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hit something on the left?
Yeah.
I don't think it was the city.
Yeah, and you didn't move a particle of sand in the
Seeing all
city.
the challenges we're going through reminds me just how difficult it is to aim a kinetic projectile. 10 seconds! There it goes. Did they hit a building? What? What?
What?
I cannot believe it. Direct hit on the building.
And nothing.
It only took down that sign.
You've just proven that your experiment is garbage.
Didn't destroy the whole building. This is not what you
And
use
this-
to cause mass devastation. This is
And this right here is why this is impossible. And now we're going to look at a video that I made 2 years ago called Case Closed.
As we get further away from Earth, we'll pass through the Van Allen belt, an area of dangerous radiation. But Orion has protection. Shielding will be put to the test as the vehicle cuts through the waves of radiation. Sensors aboard will record the radiation levels for scientists to study. We must solve these challenges before we send people through this region of space.
Unlike the previous program, we are setting a course with specific and achievable milestones. Early in the next decade, a set of crewed flights will test and prove the systems required for exploration beyond low Earth orbit, beyond low Earth orbit, beyond low Earth orbit.
The kinds of technologies that we're testing out on the space station are definitely helping us with our goals of going beyond low Earth orbit. So we have a really robust exploration program right now.
The plan that NASA has is to build a rocket called SLS, which is a heavy lift rocket. It's something that is much bigger than what we have today. And it will be able to launch the Orion capsule with humans on board, as well as landers or other components to get to destinations beyond Earth orbit. Right now, we only can fly in Earth orbit. That's the farthest that we can go. And this new system that we're building is going to allow us to go beyond and hopefully take humans into the solar system to explore. So the moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to, and we're building these building block components in order to allow us to do that eventually. The moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to. The moon, Mars, asteroids, there's a lot of destinations that we could go to. The moon, the moon, the moon. Wait, what? Come again? I thought we went to the moon. It seems like someone is lying. And now that you know about these radiation belts, do you really believe we went to this imaginary ball of rock in this tin can? We never went to the moon, and no one can go to the moon as it is not a sphere. Van Allen was approached by the military in the early 60s. In 1962, he suggested clearing the pathway by setting off nuclear bombs near the outer belt. The US military contacted Van Allen and began conducting a series of nuclear tests in the early 1960s called Operation Dominic. As the official narrative tells us, the operation included within it the Operation Fishbowl events, which were designed to understand how nuclear weapons would interact with the Earth's so-called magnetic field. The highest of the fishbowl events was called Starfish Prime. A 1.4 megaton nuclear bomb detonated at 400 kilometers on July 9, 1962. While they were firing rockets and nuclear bombs way up into the Earth's atmosphere to discover more about its radiation, you do realize that nuclear bombs produce extreme radiation. You do not discover the chemical composition of lemon juice by squeezing more lemon juice onto it. And this is a secret. No one in history has ever left Earth. You cannot leave Earth. They are telling you to your face.
Now, one thing I really want your generation to embrace is that the Earth is a closed system.
The Earth is a closed system.
We cannot leave the Earth. There's no place to go.
And this is from one of the highest satanic scientists, Kabbalah Priest himself, straight from the goat's mouth. See, these Satanists just have to tell you they are hiding it in plain sight again. And they're getting away with it because they are relying on both our inability to get our heads around the bamboozlement of impossible figures and phenomena, and they are also relying on our blind trust in the scientific institutions of the world and their word. No one has ever left flat Earth. It is a closed system, and not because there are radiation belts. No one has left because there is a dome-like roof above, or what is better understood as a firmament. We cannot leave the Earth. This is what Admiral Byrd discovered in Antarctica. They discovered the foundations of the firmament, and that's why you cannot go to Antarctica. It is literally the edge of the Earth. And I know what you're probably thinking. What? This is going from crazy to crazier to insane. But by now you already know what I am going to say. Let me show you. In 2014, civilian space geeks constructed their own rocket with a camera.
Yep. And they proved to themselves you cannot leave Earth.
And sent it up with the goal of being the first civilian rocket to make it to space. Look what happens.
Our mission as the Civilian Space Exploration Team is to be the first civilian team in history to launch a rocket that reaches space.
All systems are go for launch.
What did that rocket hit? If there was a high amount of intense radiation up there, it would have scorched that mini rocket to pieces. There is no radiation above us, covering a globular spinning planet ball. It is a flat, stationary plane with a firmament above. And I know that you want to scream and say that does not prove anything. The rocket's engine could have failed. But take it easy. We are just getting started. You see, what they never told you in school is that every single civilization in our Earth's history knew that the Earth is flat, and there existed a firmament above our heads. They were trying to tell us, and illustrations throughout the years have brought their conceptions of the world that we live in to life. Look. Only one is a satanic lie. Take another look at NASA's insignia. Did you not notice? Look at the ring around the planet, Saturn. And look closer at what they call the red chevron. Don't you think it looks like a split tongue? The tongue of the serpent? It almost resembles the letter T, which would give the organization's name an interesting anagram. And just a coincidence, I'm sure. And why does every single rocket that NASA supposedly sends up to space take the exact same path? Look, they are sending rockets into space. They reach a certain altitude and begin bending until traveling horizontally and landed in the ocean somewhere. They cannot go up and leave Earth's atmosphere and journey into space because there is no space. There is a firmament above. And they have been hiding it in plain sight the whole time. Look closer at the Masonic drawings. Can you see it? The four pillars, or the four corners of the earth, the sun and moon, the same size and both within an arched dome or firmament. And of course, satanic pedo Hollywood has already told us while laughing behind our backs. Look. There is no space, no Kabbalah Ein Sof vacuum of nothingness. Space is an elaborate hoax. Real space is water. And the water below the firmament appears to be some kind of gooey substance that is paradoxically soft and yet impenetrable. NASA tells us that our globe is spinning at 1,000 miles per hour on its axis, at 67,000 miles per hour around the sun, which is then traveling at 570,000 miles per hour within our galaxy. If this was truly the case, then we would not see the same constellations in the same places in the night sky. The night sky would be completely random and perpetually changing. But it isn't. As we've seen, the stars above us, attached somehow to a great, immense and mysterious firmament, travel in circular motions around our flat, stationary Earth, with Polaris, or what we call the Northern Star, a fixed unmoving point in the centre and above the centre of our Earth at the North Pole. We've been told that comets are huge ice particles that, when passing within the distance of our sun, begin to melt, which causes them to release gas and create a trail and tail. They tell us that comets can travel 100,000 miles an hour, but they are lying again. Here is time-lapse footage of the recent comet Neowise. As you can see, the comet is not actually moving in its own path. It is fixed in its area on the firmament and moving in conjunction with the rest of the stars. There is no travelling comet journeying at 100,000 miles per hour. But look closer. Can you not see it? It is a large opening in the firmament, casting a ray of light from whatever exists behind and through the water beneath it, much like you see with the light entering in an underwater cave opening deep in the ocean. There's a very simple experiment.
I did another video 2 years ago about Elon Musk and his rockets getting rejected by God.
Looking glass. What does that mean? A molten looking glass.
I guess I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. I guess I'm up against the highest, hardest stained glass ceiling. But we are all standing under a glass ceiling right now. crack in that glass ceiling yet.
There it is, scraping across the firmament. See that water? Just like the other video. This is Elon Musk trying to break through the firmament with the largest payload ever launched at the firmament. Here we go. Here comes the explosion right now. Boom! That's water. An ocean or a firmament or something? Yeah, that's what it was.